Now let's take a look at the EQ possibilities within the unit. You can see on the front panel, if I just pan in here, everything is set at 12 o'clock. And to get into the EQ section, you're basically pressing the EQ button, and you can see that on the panel we now get a flat line. So what I normally do is go into, say, page 3, and I create a cue point of about 8 and give it some gain, and you can see the frequency peak out of the flat line. Now using the frequency dial here, number 1, you can then move that frequency, that peak, across the entire frequency range. Using the gain, you could also invert it, so instead of boosting it, you're scooping it, and again use the frequency to move it across the entire frequency range. The cue point basically means that you can affect only a very shallow part of the frequency, so it's quite precise, or by going out the other way you can affect quite a wide range of the frequency. So putting all of those elements together, it becomes quite a powerful effect. So what I'll do now is I'll just play some chords and move the frequency lines across so you can see how it's molding the sound. And now let's go the other way, so we'll boost up frequency, so we're now, instead of scooping, we're enhancing, and again we'll move it across. So for our first frequency point, we'll probably scoop some of the mid-range. So I'm just going to bring the gain down so it becomes inverted and scoops, and then move the frequency into the mid-range. And just leave it there. Now onto the next page, we're going to add another frequency point. So again, I choose a cue of about 8, give it some gain, and you can see the frequency point pop out of the flat line. So again, I'm going to just play some chords, and we're going to be manipulating this new frequency point with the other one already kind of set where we left it on the previous page. So you can see that it's quite has a lot of possibilities for adding harmonic content to your actual sound, and that's what I really regard this EQ unit as being able to do. I tend to use the main panel as my frontline EQ. That's what I regard as my real kind of EQ, and this panel here I regard more for trying to give my sound a unique voicing or some type of unique harmonic content to its character, rather than a specific kind of main EQ unit. So we'll just move it back into kind of a neutral position again now. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, and we'll go on to some of the effects that you can get out of the unit as well. So the chorus has like a dedicated button assigned to it on its own. It's not piled in with all the other effects. You have basically delay, chorus and reverb with their own effect on the front of the unit. So by pressing the chorus is pretty much, you know, all the usual sounds there, but I must say that the effects in this unit are like of particular high quality. and then there's lots of kind of presets that they have put in. Then on the main effects unit you basically have two of them, so I'm just going to pan in again, and by turning kind of the big black dial you can see a selection of them from wah wah, auto wah, the usual thing, an advanced compressor, limiter, guitar simulator. There's not really enough time to go through and demonstrate every one of them, but the harmonist is very good because it's intelligent, and you get to choose your key, which in this case is C, and you can decide how many, the interval that you basically want to harmonize. So here I've set it to harmonize in thirds, major and minor thirds. So if we turn it on, it's basically intelligently harmonizing so long as I play in the key of C, which is quite good. Then you have kind of the usual things like phasers and flangers. The Univibe is quite good, and I think using the effects, they're all like really high quality, so there's no problems with them at all. The other thing that's interesting about it is that you can, in the preamp section, you can decide to either have one channel, channel A or channel B, but you can also combine the channels so that you would have two channels playing at once. So you can set basically two amp models to play at once. So here I have an example. I've called it Pt.2, and if I go into the preamp, you can see that in this here we basically have channel A and channel B going through and combining into the one sound. So using that, you can basically set up two different amps to play through. So two different, like totally different amp models, and using that you get like a very well, the possibilities for interesting sounds, especially kind of synthetic guitar sounds, are actually quite good. So this current one sounds like this, or if I go into like another variation. And I really like that about the unit as well, being able to combine kind of different amp combinations together. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm sure I'll be referring back to more sounds as I get different requests, and perhaps I'll show you through some of the other effects units and amps that I use as well.